And for today's episode of You Shoulda Listened to the Black Ladies, the current DOJ is trying to scrub the intranets of J6. Okay? Yeah, very innocent. Because, they love to release iller Ks back into the streets and then invite them to VIP events and treat them like they're wonderful because this is a team of criminals and we are no longer respecting anyone who's like, you better listen to them. Like, no, they've just put literal murderers made back on the street. Like, why would I listen to any of them? But remember when they did that? Remember the CRT thing 2 years ago? And we were like, you guys are trying to erase history in front of us and you're letting them do it because it's black history, so that you don't care about. That was a test. Okay, so now that they saw that they could get you on board with a public rewrite of history, all they have to do is say it made a white kid feel bad. Yeah, so now we're watching them purge J6, or try to. It's not going to work that way. But we try to tell you, when they first targeted CRT, that's how it's going to start. But here's the thing I want to reiterate, because I don't know if I'm saying it clearly, and apologize if I'm repeating it, but the social media piece is a bigger piece than I think folks are really paying attention to when it comes to the rapid response and NATO, etc. So let me try to kind of like lay out the line again that I'm seeing. Okay, I don't know if you remember back those riots in the UK where all that anti-Muslim sentiment kind of came out of nowhere. Well, if you remember being on Twitter space back then, First Boyfriend was using it to push a lot of anti-Muslim propaganda to UK residents. The same shit we see in America all the time. Hey, they're taking jobs, they're taking housing, they're using benefits. I mean, literally the same exact shit you hear in America was suddenly being repeated by lower working class Mayo folks in the UK. Yeah, they're taking our jobs, they're using our benefits. And next thing you know, they were filling the streets and rioting against the immigrants. It was all because of his app. And so the UK banned it. And that's one of the reasons why he's saying he's holding us as a bargaining chip against NATO. And no, America doesn't fund NATO solely. I had someone come into the comments and say that's propaganda. They want you to think that nothing in the world can operate without America. Newsflash, we are not the superpower anymore. China's about to take us over. And that's also thanks to your God King who backed us out of things like the World Health Organization. And then China was like, bet, we're ready to take their place and be the leader of the world. So again, thank you for your convictions. Okay, so the UK bans his app after that because he did that little social experiment thing. He's trying to tell the EU and NATO and everyone else, hey, I'm going to tell my man to pull America from NATO if you guys don't allow my app back in your countries, because I want to continue telling people that my mustache ideals are on the rise around the world. And it only works if I can flood everyone with apps that have tens of millions of not real people saying that so that they believe it and they believe it's on the rise. Are you getting it yet? And like I keep saying, they're not real. This isn't on the rise. This is them in a narrative, right? Okay. So then what happened over here? Because UK is set to ban this one at the end of February. And you're not really seeing it on here because they don't want you to know that. Why don't you want? I'm telling you that from folks that are in UK who are like, yeah, I don't know why are they suddenly wanting to ban it? It's because this place came out as Red Hat. It's because it came out and said, yeah, we align ourselves with them. We're actually with them. We're their team. We've been helping them. And immediately the UK said, yep, ban that too. I wonder why. I wonder if it's because they have intel that any of the apps being owned by any of those people, in fact, France did say it out loud, it is not to be trusted because it's being used to feed information that isn't true, to control people. And if that is the case, and something like that was done in multiple countries, and I'm saying if, but it's not an if, because we have letters that say, hey, we have multiple nations with evidence that someone or someones were doing these things in conjunction with certain persons and certain countries. And you see, when you do something to multiple protected nations, it kicks open a different door, even if that comes from like within. So when someone went around and decided to keep spreading their apps, when someone decided to go brag about whatever it was, whatever magical secret it was, they wanted to sell to the other far right hand parties. Okay. Do you see the string that I'm seeing? So yeah, tomorrow Canada's report hits, again, I'm not saying that's going to be the thing that blows the lid off of everything, but it's a piece and it's a wheel. And we're going to start to see the ball rolling because there are like 4 other countries with intel. And we're hearing the whispers of certain articles may have been enacted or might be enacted, which would get us a little bit of cavalry. So, just saying. Interesting, right? It's interesting, if nothing else.